Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the IQ session, number 79, if I'm correct. I'm just checking in with my PA, Erin Cartwright, who has confirmed that we are up to number 79, which is super exciting. Tonight's topic is called, if you're something along the lines of, if you're searching for success rather than commitment, you'll never have either. Now, this is a quote from an adapted quote from Seth Godin, which is he's an author, best-selling author, and he does a lot of stuff on tribes and also marketing and culture and business and stuff like that.
He's the man.
He's the man. He's written books like Tribes, Purple Cow. There's a few others. Anyway, that was a really big one for us that we wanted to discuss this week, because it's a perfect timing, as you guys, most of you guys will be starting the 8-week challenge this week. You're 4 days in, and it's really quite relevant.
Basically we're going to break it into two parts. So the first part is, if you're searching for success, which a lot of people do, they search for the end result, which would be that successful part you're looking for. If that's your purpose and your primary thing is what you're searching for, is that success, along the way you're going to be distracted. And that's a big thing, because what happens is, along that journey of chasing success and being so beeline for it, is you are attracted by shiny objects, because you get a little frustrated that you're not at the successful side of where you want to be right now. So you have things interject in your life which to derail you for a little bit and maybe push you off that path you're heading into. Success point of view, for chasing success, it's really quite detrimental to you actually achieving that success, because it is such a long and winding journey.
If that's your focus. And that's why a lot of the time, if someone with weight loss, we say focus on your fitness, because a byproduct of fitness is actually weight loss and getting lean, strong and healthy, and the weight loss just happens to come with it. So we're talking about the focus being success, and we want to change that slightly. And of course, that can be part of your push forward. Definitely, we want you to have a goal and an end result, yes, but we don't want you just to be focusing on the success, because then it's like, oh, you might hit a day where you've put on 100 grams on the scales. You guys wouldn't know that because you've already chucked your effing scales away, but you might have one of those days, and that's when you then go searching for the next fad diet, or you starve yourself for the next day, or you go out and overeat or over exercise. And all of these kind of things can actually be detrimental to that end result and that success that you're actually chasing.
It's because you get overwhelmed in the whole process. That's the reality of it. So, and by being overwhelmed in the moment, it's the easiest way to describe it is you get paralysis by over-analysis. So you get frustrated because you're putting all the hard work in, and you're trying. And I think the scales reference is perfect, which is why we say throw the bloody things out, is because they can quite often derail you, because they don't lead to what you want it to say. You've done a whole strong week and you've lost 100 grams, and you're like, what? I did so much work and I only lost 100 grams. So then you're overwhelmed and you're angry about the result, and which generally leads you to do one of two or three things, I suppose. One of them is you just go stuff it and you're out.
Yep.
The second one is you get frustrated and you overeat and you eat out of pity. And the other one would probably be that you just get down on yourself and you get hard on yourself, and that spirals the other way because you become not what you really want to be. So,
and all of those three outcomes don't actually get you to where you wanted to be anyway.
No.
But I think one thing that we want you to remember, especially as you're entering into this new journey of the 8-week challenge, is who you are now actually has to change to be the results that you want to be. So you can't actually stay the same to have different results. Whatever you're currently doing right now, and the person you are, all the tools that you have in your tool belt, all the tools that you're choosing to use, will only get you to where you are now. So you actually need to grow and to change and to become a newer, improved version of you, to have newer, improved results, have those successes that you want to have. So getting comfortable with change is actually a really important thing. Now, they always say that growth happens outside the comfort zone. And it's actually really, really true. We need to get comfortable with the uncomfortable. So then that uncomfortable then becomes your new norm, and a new setting.
Which is really good. And that's the success side of things. That's what happens if you focus on it. There's so much room for error. And you don't win enough to stay excited on the goal. And you would have known, if you've ever set out to do something and you've actually achieved it, you achieved it through this next part of the whole thing, which is through a commitment to achieving it. And along the way, you grew as a person, you adapted to situations, you became more knowledgeable, you became more resilient, you became all these different things that made you a better person to achieve that goal that you set out to do. And it always comes down to a major thing of consistency. You'll hear us saying this a lot in the challenge, because you're consistently rewarded for what you repeatedly do.
Yes.
Whether that is do nothing or whether you do something. Whatever you do regularly, you are rewarded for. And the 8-week challenge is about consistency. It's not about the one-off big hero workout where you do, oh, I haven't done anything for 4 days. It's okay. I'll do 4 hours on one day. It'll make up for the week. That's not going to get you to where you want to be, because there's no consistency in that. You've had 6 of the 7 days doing nothing. You've been consistently lazy, rather than one big workout to say, oh, at least I did one big workout for this week. So what you want to get used to doing, especially in the challenge, is consistently doing something daily. Every day you should be moving. It doesn't have to always be vigorous, but vigorous is a faster way of getting to where you want to get to, which means you don't have to have such a high time commitment to your exercise.
Yeah. And if you do have injuries or challenges that don't allow you to do the vigorous stuff, there's always alternatives. It, just like Matt said, it will just mean that you have a bit more of a time commitment to those, from an exercise point of view anyway. So if we change our focus from just the success and we change our focus to the commitment, then you can have both. Because the commitment, which is a mix of discipline and consistency, that will then lead you to the success.
The promised land.
Just like we say, rather than focusing on weight loss, which often just focus on what you can't have and how little you can have and all the lack and all the deficit and all those kind of things. If we change it, your mindset is in a totally different avenue, in a totally different lane, and then those results come with that anyway. They're a byproduct, but you're not focusing on lack and what you can't have. You're focusing on all the positive side of things.
And like we've written down here, so consistency compounds, which it really does, and we'll go into an analogy of that in a second. But it especially compounds when you do what you know you need to do, even when you don't want to do it. Because what that does is it gives you a sense of purpose, and it gives you a sense of confidence, I suppose is a good way to put it. And you get rid of the self-doubt about that you are not worthy of getting there. But the challenge with consistency and being consistent and committed to your goal is you need to have patience. It's a big one. It's not a rapid overnight thing. You don't do the 8-week challenge and day 2 you're there. That's not how consistency works. Consistency works. Show up for 8 weeks, roll the sleeves up, do the work, turn up every day, watch the calories, count the calories.
We didn't call it an 8-week challenge just because we're like, 8 weeks, let's keep them occupied for 8 weeks. No, it will take 8 weeks. It's not going to take 4 days. It's going to take your 8 weeks. And so you need to be committed, but it's also 8 weeks to the rest of your life as well. So we're here to really set you up for the next stage as well, but you've got to be patient too. And in this process with the whole consistency thing, this is the time that you actually need to be dumb. Be dumb and just do, because you don't want to be overthinking it. You don't want to be just like...
Have a man brain. The easy way to do it. Real simple, just, okay, let's go. That's about as complicated as most men, not all men.
Kind of.
They really just blokey and think, how would a man do this? They would just not think about it and get it done. And T-Pop, or Tanya, she's our PT, and she always laughs because when it comes to like lifting a deadlift or something, when she's training me, my brain just goes, cool, pick weight up. That's what I think. But when I train T-Pop in her sessions, she's thinking, what I need to do, brace this, that, her brain's going 100 miles an hour. So she gets frustrated because myself and her husband, and when the guys come up and do that stuff, what happens is they just come up and do it because they are focused on the task in front of them. So if you're focused on your task in front of you every day is to do your exercise, and that's your task for the day, you win every day. That's the coolest part about it.
So what we want you to do is celebrate the actions, not the results, because the results will come. And then you can have a huge celebration, but you got to get addicted to the wins, and the wins are the actions. So changing that focus as well. Yeah.
And can I go into the share market thing here? So I like the share market analogy, because if you've ever invested money into the share market, it has the ability to go boom, it has the ability to go gloom, it has the ability to just wobble along very slowly. But every time, if you were to put money into the share market and you left that money in there, and you let it do what it needed to do, whether it went up or down, the chances are that in a certain period of time, it will be up versus where you first put it in, because you've consistently left it there to do what it needs to do. Whereas if you jumped in real quick and tried to make a lot of money, you run the risk of, and you do the big hero play and you put the money in, it could work and it could not work.
The boom or the bust.
But the reality is the person who leaves it in there to do what it needs to do, time, be it 5 years, 6 years, 10 years, 20 years, it will be huger than the person who pulled it out quickly. Huger, larger, huger.
Huger, new word. Look it up. Urban Dictionary.
I'm from New Zealand. We do what we want. But it'll be much more enticing and better for your bank account if you were to leave it in there over a longer period of time, for consistently letting it do what it does, because the share market compounds, or compound interest, the money that is in there. Your body and your results that you do on a day-to-day basis are exactly the same. You compound the efforts because you become stronger, you become fitter, you become faster, more disciplined, more educated, and you just become wiser in the process. And that's the whole journey of an 8-week challenge, is the kickstart for you to change those habits so that you can go forward. And on the other side of the 8-week challenge, you kick on. It's not about getting to 8 weeks and then overindulging on the other side. It's like, no, learn now and be consistent, be diligent, be committed to your goals. And on the other side of that, in the 8 weeks, your transformation will be successful. And
this whole caveman mindset and being dumb and just doing can really help diminish and abolish that self-doubt, because self-doubt, especially, I can speak from a female point of view. I know that my female brain, and when the self-doubt comes in, that like can honestly halt you. And I don't know if that's a same for a man brain. But by doing and being diligent in just the actions and being consistent in that, you're already doing it. So if you stop thinking about it, then you've already realized that you've already done it. And then there's no place for self-doubt because you're just doing it. And that's why we want you to be dumb and just do. You just got to show up. Little bits. It's like, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. That's pretty much it. What else do we have that we wanted to make sure that we have covered here?
Obviously, the main thing is the consistency. Hopefully you've heard that. We're just repeating it right now, which is fine. But if we ever repeat something 10, 15, 20 times, it's probably pretty important to write that one down. Be consistent. If you took that from tonight's session, you're already going to be winning if you go away and action that consistency.
Now, one thing I want to address as well is that when it comes to the exercise side of things, we're fitness professionals, so we tend to talk a lot about that side of things, is that you don't have to wait for the perfect conditions. You don't have to wait for your energy to be 100%. You don't have to wait for the sun to shine in a 30-degree angle through the front 2 windows or whatever it might be.
Nice.
It would be lovely. But you just got to do, especially if your energy levels are low, you just got to give whatever you've got in that moment. If your tank is only at 80%, just give all of that 80%. You don't have to be, I'm not at 100%, I'm just not going to do today. No, you've got to be you've got to be consistent, because that compounds, and that's where you get those results that you're searching for.
I reckon, and I believe that when you are at your lowest, at the 80, the 60, whatever that percentage is, you're not feeling well, you're not 100%, you're just not wanting to do it. When you go and do that workout is so much more rewarding than when you're peaking at 100%, because you didn't want to do it. You were thinking, stuff it, I'll have a day off, I've been busy, and you start to justify a rest. The moment you overcome that and you win that battle, you are on the front foot. You are winning the arm wrestle, because so many times people go, I deserve it because I've had a hard week. The kids are stressing me out. My husband's stressing me out. The work's hard. This is hard.
I'm going to have a glass of wine instead, or those kind of things.
So the language shifts. So the moment you win the battle, the moment you do that, you are on the front foot. So get ready to run hard on the other side of that, because if you can do that when it's hard and still kick on and still do your consistency and your commitment to yourself, then you're, by God, at the end of this, you're going to be amazingly more successful than you think you'll be.
So how do you work out the action steps? First of all, you need to find a goal. You need to know what your goal is. You need to know where you're heading. You need to know what the success looks like. Like, what does success look like to you?
Beat my wife.
Whoa.
We've got a running race going on.
Someone's hungry. is success to you washboard abs, or is it to get into a size 12 pair of shorts that you've wanted to get into since your wedding day? What is it to be able to run 5Ks without stopping? Or find out what the success is to you, and then you work backwards from there and implement the action steps that will get you there. Now, if you don't have a specific goal, a general goal is totally fine. It's going to get you in the vicinity. It's like if you want to head to New South Wales, you know that you kind of got to head north-ish. You're not going to head south. That ain't going to get you there, right? So you got to know the general direction, and then you can break it down to get to there. So if your goal is to be able to run 5Ks without stopping, well, part of your action steps has to be running. We can't do everything, but a small exception there. Stacey Brown will be able to attest to this one, that she's currently got an injury that's making her avoid running, even though she's got a running goal. So there's definitely ways around it. But if you're injury free, then you need to go and do the runs. But you got to find the action steps.
Yeah, exactly. And I think another one is Kirsty Elmsley is due to run the Melbourne Marathon, I believe it is. Mm-hmm. And now she's on her 5th or 6th. So I don't know how many challenges we've done, but we'll call it, she's on her 6th one now, 6th challenge. And when she first started the challenge, it was all about losing weight. That was her whole thing. I want to lose weight. I want to lose this baby weight. Well, that was her purpose. Her whole goal at the start was that. She's now got a goal of running a marathon. In the space of those little 8-week challenges, because they are little, they're just tiny segments of a year, she's compounded and she's consistently showed up. She's consistently trusted the process, and she's believed in us and that we're here to help her. And now at the other end of it, for fun, at the end of the last challenge, she ran a half marathon. Just her and her husband thought, let's run 21Ks. So off they went, and they did that because they thought they could, and they did, and amazing effort. And from that, they thought, why don't I just do a full marathon? So now Kirsty's out there in only like 5 weeks or 6 weeks, whatever it is, she's going to be running the Melbourne Marathon from consistently showing up every challenge, in between the challenges, working, constantly reaching out to us or to the trainers in general to help and seek advice instead of trying to figure it out herself. When she's doubting, she reached out to make sure that she found the happiness to give her self-belief.
That's one thing I want to point on too, is just watch where you're getting your advice from. I wouldn't suggest going to a broke person for financial advice. Where health and fitness,
or on that, you could go to them and find out what they did so you don't do it.
We happen to our expertise happens to be in health and fitness. So if you have health and fitness goals, we would probably be the people to come and talk to any of us trainers. Your Insta friends maybe not the perfect people to be reaching out to for advice and directions. So wherever you get your advice and support from, you just got to be careful that it's the right kind of advice and support. If you come to us with a goal, we're 100% going to be behind you, and 100% believe that you can do it a lot more than you can, that you believe that you can do it. Where that's our job is to, but we know you can. So we're going to help get you there. But please reach out if any of the previous challenges, the success clues that have been left are the people that have really succeeded have reached out. They've reached out to us when they're stuck, when they need a little more oomph, when they're not sure what to do. So please, we can't stress enough that we are here to help, but we don't know what we don't know.
And that's all the trainers. It's not just us. It's any of the trainers. Everyone will lend an ear and some advice. And if we don't know the answer for you, we will happily go away and find it for you. We won't pretend like we know the answer. We will happily say, I do not know that for you, but I will find out, and we'll come back with a solution.
Unless it's a mathematical question, Matt will pretend he knows it, or he'll pretend that he hasn't heard you and get you to repeat it 3 times while he's secretly trying to figure it out in his head.
Siri, mate.
Just say that louder into my phone.
I cannot hear you.
He's lucky he's handsome because he's not real bright in the math department.
Whoa. Harsh.
So really what we need you to do is find your goal, work back from that, create the action steps.
On the goal part, the easiest way to do it is you entered the challenge for a reason. This is the first part, right? Now, you may have said to yourself, I want to lose weight, and given us the fluffy answer. Losing weight and toning up is the most common answer we ever get from being a personal trainer. 9
out of 10 people that walk through the door,
it's almost 10
when we ask what you're here for is to lose weight and tone up.
Cool. Tone up's a made up word. Doesn't actually mean anything. What you're actually meaning is I want to lose fat That's a tone up person. I want to see my muscles better. That's what that refers to. So when someone comes in and says that to us, we know that that is not the reason they're here.
No.
It's a byproduct of why they're here.
We
have an underlying...
We have like spidey senses, and it's like a bullshit detector. And we're like, we know there's more there.
Yeah. And so what you do is when you come in and you say, most people will say something along these lines. They'll say, I want to lose 5 to 10 kilograms. And you'll go, which one is it more, 5 or 10? They usually go 10. I want to lose 10 kilograms. You go, great. Why did you choose that number, 10 kgs? Of all the numbers you could choose, why did you pick that one? And then they'll go, oh, because when I was 10 kgs lighter, I was, whatever reason that is. And you're like, cool. Is that important to you? They usually will say, yes, cool. On a scale of 1 to 10, how important? 7. Well, that doesn't seem very important to me. How do we make that a 10? Because now you're going to commitment. You're going to buy into your goal. It's about probing on why you're doing it. Don't be prideful. Check the ego at the door. Be vulnerable. The power is in vulnerability. The more you are open to sharing yourself, the more likely you are to have that success without chasing it, because you're chasing commitment and consistency. You'll have that reward instead of that. When you are vulnerable, when you hold it and you pretend like, oh no, I only want to lose 10 kilos, I don't know why. That's a lie. You do know why. You need to share and share it out loud. If you don't want to share it with us, then share it to your mirror. Look at yourself and tell yourself why you are doing it. And then from that, you will have a reason to be consistent and stay committed to then have success on the other end of it. I promise you, if you can get to the bottom of why you enter the challenge, you'll have a reason to show up when the rain is pouring down and it's your turn to go for a run, or the internet's down and you're going, oh, I can't do the online thing now because the internet's down, and you can take it on yourself to do it yourself. You'll just find ways to make it happen, because you won't want to lose your consistency. Because the moment you are consistent and you stop, you lose the consistency. It starts to unravel on the other side of it. So we want to maintain the momentum and keep it going. Think of like a basketball, I'm spinning it. As it starts to slow down, I've got to tap it again. I've got to keep it going. Otherwise it will fall off my finger. Same as this journey of yours. It's got to be tapped. When you feel yourself wobbling, reach out. Get the trainers on your side. Get your partners, your friends, the group. The FBFM Facebook group is designed for you guys to be supported, to share your wins and to hear your losses, and use those moments to be better, to keep you on guard, to keep that basketball spinning so you don't stop. And on that approach, I promise you, with that understanding of why you're doing something and the support on your side, you're unstoppable.
You guys would know that I totally can relate to that analogy, because you'll see me all the time just spinning basketballs on my finger all the time, all day, every day. I've never been able to do it once in my life. Probably should go on my goal list. Probably, do we even own a basketball? I'm not sure.
Yes, we do.
But hopefully that helps you guys just with some direction and staying in the game and getting you through the next 8 weeks. It's just one step at a time. Focus on the action steps. Don't wait for the hero result. Don't wait for you to be 10 kilos lighter and then I'll be happy. You gotta enjoy the process, because that person that becomes 10 kilos lighter is a different person. They're stronger, they're fitter, they're happier, and they know a lot more.
Now, and we've got some obstacles coming up in the back end of this year, because obviously, especially here in Victoria, things are becoming more accessible. So the ability to go out and socialize, to have a drink, to dine out, to eat, do all those things that we haven't been able to do for so long. So the temptation is to go out and overindulge in those things. I haven't done this for so long, I can justify 2 bottles of wine, 4 mains, 2 desserts, and a couple of entrees, and then I'll get whatever. I'll finish the plates of everyone else as well. So you go out and you justify that that's okay. That's not okay. The idea is to go out and appreciate that you're socializing, and to appreciate the food and to enjoy it. You don't need to be over gluttonous, because you can always go back out the following day or the next weekend. You don't need to do it all in one hero feed and hero workout. You just want to be consistently and just enjoy the moment and be grateful to be around those people. And then we've got Christmas coming up, which is obviously, we hear this one all the time. It's like, oh, it's the festive season. It's not really. It's one day a year, and maybe a Christmas party for your work do if you're doing those. There's really 2 days where it's a festive occasion. Christmas Day, if you celebrate that, and then your Christmas party. Those are your 2 days, and we call it a season. We justify that from December 1 through to January 1st or 2nd. It's okay to eat lots and drink lots, because that's what you do in this month.
But what we want you to get across, so remember, this challenge is not about lack and about what you can't have.
No.
It's about enjoying those moments. So make sure you say yes. God knows we all need it. Say yes to those moments, but just do them smart.
Yeah.
That's when you need to be smart, not dumb.
Yeah.
Be dumb in the doing of the actions, but be smart in your choices when you're eating.
Yeah.
But hopefully that gives you guys a little bit of direction and a little bit of an extra push to follow through and to finish what you started, because you're here, you made a decision to see it through. Do that to you owe it to yourself. And I promise you, become a healthier, fitter, stronger person, both mentally and physically at the end of it. But we are here to help. So please reach out if you need anything. These are recorded, and there's 78 other IQ sessions that you can go back and listen to. There's some little golden nuggets hidden in those ones, so please go back and watch them. They are public on YouTube, so if this has resonated with you that you need someone else to hear, please share it with them. And we do these every Thursday night. Also, if you have a topic that you would like us to discuss, please reach out. But I think that's all from us. We're going to wrap it up here. But if anybody has any questions, I can't actually see all of you at once. So if you've got any questions, please type it in the chat box. I'll see if I can actually see the chat box. Don't know, I'm on my phone. But if anyone has any questions, please sing out. Other than that, if no one has any questions as I filter through, we are going to love you and leave you there. Again, these are recorded, so you can watch them back anytime. But we just want to thank you guys for investing into you, spending 30 minutes of your Thursday evening with us. Hopefully you got a lot of gold nuggets from this one, and you can start to add some more tools to your tool belt, so you can use them when you need to. But we appreciate you guys. We love you, and we're so grateful that you're here. But again, please reach out if you have anything I've missed, anything you would like to add.
Just show up. Just continue to show up daily, and you will be rewarded at the other end of it. I promise.
Yeah.
If you can hang it out and commit daily, doing something every day, exercising, moving every day, especially, and then monitoring your food and being better with your food every day, you watch what happens on the other side of that. Without it, you won't even have to touch a scale. You'll be able to see it. Everyone will start telling you that you look amazing. Oh my God, you'll start be able to go down dress sizes if that's what you're looking to do. And it's just you will be rewarded for showing up, I promise you.
Yeah, you certainly will. Well, thank you guys so much. We love you. Again, reach out if you need us, if you have any questions or any further guidance. But have a sensational Thursday evening. We'll see you tomorrow for Friday. Be awesome. Thank you guys so much. Enjoy your night. Ciao, ciao, ciao.